Soup, I'm sipping on it. Come here. Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I'm Morrow, your storyteller for today. With me, I have some more RPG horror stories. Okay, I mentioned a little bit about the witch class. Mary and I end up watching together one of her favorite movies because there's a sequel coming out, Practical Magic. As we watched the movie together, we started talking a little bit about D&D, and Mary brought up a good point of, man, I wish there was some sort of like a witch class, something a little bit different than what we have today, has some little mechanics, a little tricks here and there that like embodies the witch. That'd be really cool. I guess a wizard is kind of a witch at the end of the day, but she was just looking for something a little bit more flavorful to the witch fantasy. So I asked her, do you just want to make it together? Now we have like 28 pages worth of it, including 8 subclasses, because I went a little bit too extra. Nevertheless, if you want to check it out for yourself and give us some feedback on it, links down in the description below for the witch homebrew class written by Mary and I. I'm going to get to the first RPG horror story for today. I killed off an annoying player to the cheers of the rest of the table. Years ago, at an annual gaming con, I ran one-shots of an old B-movie RPG. It came from the Late Show. It was a funny, absurd game about playing cliché characters in an awfully bad movie worthy of Mystery Science Theater 3000. 90% of my players were annual repeaters, or got the vibe immediately after reading the one-page intro I passed out to everyone, fitting the style and humor we were aiming for. The sessions were loud, hysterical, and so much fun because all the players were bad movie fans with a great sense of humor who understood the assignment, except one guy. We'll call him Bob. Bob was trying to earn an award. Each table awarded the best role player a prize. He thought he could overtalk the other players. He thought he could hog the spotlight and win. My intro page included a section called Acting Appropriately Stupid. Listed example quotes of characters when they do a typical sci-fi or horror trope who defies logic, such as, "The killer's around here somewhere. You guys split up," or calling, "Is that you, Gus?" into the darkness when the growling noise obviously isn't Gus. Bob thought if he loudly quoted enough of these, he'd score more points. I can't imagine just somebody over the table being like, "What was that noise?" and stuff like that. Like, the guy is trying to play here and try to fill in some sort of a quota because he wants to try to win awards and stuff. I think that's one of those things that maybe you don't offer like a award. You just kind of, don't reward this kind of behavior. But we'll see what happens, because apparently you kill off the character and nobody cheered at the table, so maybe you didn't reward that behavior. Who knows? But yo, this game sounds absolutely hysterical. I think that'll be absolutely amazing. There's so many quotable movies out there and so many dumb quotes out there that people can say. Oh my god, it is incredible. I want to play that. Can we get together and play this game together sometime? I think it'll be so much fun. After ignoring him, then giving multiple verbal nudges and later warnings, I feel my players were annoyed as well. It was time to take him out and do it as part of the plot. That year's movie, Slumber Party Beach Blanket Nightmare, was about a beach party invaded by seaweed creatures who dragged the victims to the underground cave as sacrifices to their god, 300-foot-tall lobster man. Rather than fighting the monsters, Bob was busy loudly overtalking everyone, so one of the creatures angrily consumed him whole mid-sentence. Because his character was as annoying as he was, he actually made the monster nauseous. And as it staggered, it opened up a chance for the heroes to strike, which tilted the combat in their favor, leading them to the final big bad. The table cheered loudly when Bob did it. Bob then asked if he had won the prize, 60 minutes before the session was done. Sorry, I told him, dead men win no prizes. And if he stayed, he'd have to sit quietly and roleplay a corpse. Bob wandered off to find another table to haunt. Okay, on one hand, I would say this is kind of a mean-spirited thing to do to somebody, regardless of how annoying they are. If there's been a problem at the table, just solve it out of game. Just say, listen, one more outburst and you're out of here. I'm not willing to entertain your stuff, and kind of go from there. Or hey, just simply ignore his character actions if you really want to be mean to him. But doing something like this, coup de grace like that at the table because of that, I mean, in a sense, it kind of feels like a very B-movie plot thing to do. So maybe it's part of the mechanics, because one character that's been extremely annoying ends up dying, and suddenly it's like, oh, relief, fire, this character's dead. Now I can cheer up for the rest of the people try to stay alive. So in a sense, it feels very B-movie plot to deal with. I don't know, this is something that specifically the game would encourage. I think it'd be kind of a dick move to do. However, did Bob deserve it? Sure. But out-of-game problems should be solved out-of-game, not in-game. I guess it probably was more of an out-of-game, in-game thing. I don't know. It's a little bit difficult to tell. The guy's trying to basically win a prize for the sake of some sort of an award that honestly is kind of meaningless. I don't know. Some people out there, they just want to be able to win things for the sake of winning things, just so they can claim that the one stuff. Some people's spirit is way too competitive for no reason whatsoever. Like some people just have like no chill. They just want to be able to win D&D. They want to be able to win some B-movie RPG flick or something. I don't know. I feel like the reason I don't fully connect with this, because at some point I used to be like hella competitive towards the most insignificant or like things that don't really matter whatsoever. I was a lot younger and a lot more immature compared to today. Now I generally don't care too much about winning. Nowadays I don't really care too much about winning unless it's something I really want, but like I'm not gonna completely like try to win something and become toxic at the table in order to ruin somebody else's fun and enjoyment just for the sake of my own fun or something. Because Bob's behavior generally just kind of ruins fun for everybody at the table, because he's just overtaking and overspeaking everybody and not letting anybody get a word in edgewise, which is very annoying to do for sure. I feel like you handled it amicably. Very B-movie plot. The annoying character dies. Feels like a very B-movie thing to do. However, I still stand by my initial point of out-of-game problems should be solved out-of-game, not in-game. Let's get on to the next story for today. Me and another player dated after joining their table. Another player seemed to not take it well. I joined this D&D table about 8 months ago. We met up once a week, but at times it's fortnightly. It's a group that's part of a local D&D community and they hired the local council hall for space. Now to the story. Me, 24 male, and Jessica, 25 female, clicked really well, even on the first session with them. Our humor was so spot on, we would finish each other's sentences. I think because we both watched Drag Race and that side of media and humor, we also both read tons of fiction. We let each other our recommended read. Not too long, we began dating. At least when you would call to people holding hands and have a dinner for weekends. Both aren't big on public displays, so it might seem like we're just best friends. That's probably what Luke, 31 male, thought, that I was her gay bestie, yas, something like that. It took about 2 months when others realized we were more than just friends after the two of us missed a session to celebrate my birthday. We had dinner at my place. I posted on my social account with her in the background because she gave me a minifigure on my in-game Shadow Mastiff pet. I did write in the caption how I'm thankful for her love, stuff like that. That automatically tagged her, and apparently Mike also follows her and saw the tagged post, which he screenshotted and sent to our Discord chat. I found that a bit weird, but he did follow up. We should do an OP birthday plot point. Now to the next session after that, our DM made a one-shot side quest of our party where we have to retrieve a magic item for a cult. Rescue my Shadow Mastiff pet was also kidnapped by them. Okay, well that's kind of wholesome. The fact that like, hey, we should do like some sort of like a birthday plot point, some sort of like a birthday one shot. It's very wholesome when players want to do that. However, I don't know these characters yet. We don't know much about characters while Mike specifically screenshotted the post and stuff. Whatever you decide to post on your social media is whatever you decide to post on your social media. Like if you are not really close to these people, you're not really like super friendly or hyper friendly with them, then I feel like it's a little bit weird for them to bring in like IRL, like non-game related stuff into the Discord. It just feels a little bit strange and weird while Mike would do that. Why did Mike screenshot your post and like post it there? Just it kind of feels a little bit weird, you know? I don't know, man. Like I'm not gonna tell everybody that I play D&D with all of my life stuff and life stories and stuff going on. Like I'm not gonna bring in IRL to them or something else that I do outside of D&D. Well, I post on D&D servers everything that is D&D related, and that's about it. Or unless it has in some capacity to do with the D&D. It would be the same thing as, let's say, for example, if we're doing something on Tales Tomorrow and I decide to cross post everything that I do in every single video that I post onto my D&D channel for Tales Tomorrow. I don't do that. I don't do that one bit. Even though this channel has something to do with D&D related in general, I don't do that because I don't think that this is like my server is not a place for me to advertise everything that I do. I just wouldn't feel so comfortable about it, nor would I want anybody else to do that specifically either. I would think that'd be a little bit weird. I understand probably Mike's intention is well and good. They're just trying to do something fun and celebrate OP's birthday, just to try to, you know, have some sort of a celebration, just be nice about it. But depends on how Luke is gonna react. This is gonna be probably a really bad situation. Maybe, who knows? Luke is playing a rogue and was in charge of infiltrating the cult by disguising as one of them. Unfortunately, I rolled badly on my stealth and got captured and tied up to some cell. Was probably tortured. Guess who volunteered to do it? Luke came up with a plan to make him look like real cultists to their eyes. That was to assault my character. And before the DM could say anything, began to describe what he started doing. What the fuck? That's playing a little bit too close to try to win the enemy's trust, buddy. That's not trying to come up with a plan. That's not a plan. That's a sex crime. That's not a plan. That's literally a sex crime. Your plan was to do a sex crime with your party member to convince the people that you're actually going to be part of the gang? What? DM quickly shot that down. Luke looked at me and said, "You should lean into it. It would be good for our deception check." plus you gay anyway. What? What is this? To ask somebody, hey, you should lean into this sex crime. It would be good for our deception checks if you let me sex crime you. Plus you gay anyway, so let me sex crime. What? That's all. Okay, hold on one second. Hold on. Saying plus you gay anyway, so let me you is so beyond fucked. That is so beyond I'm glad the DM is stepping up to shut this down, but the fact that Luke is just saying this out loud just like that, you gay anyway, let me sex crime you. What? Hold on one second. Hold on. Is he talking about you or is he talking about your character? Because I feel like there's two separations here. There's two different things happening here all together. I'm assuming he's referring to you as you and not your character, because he's clearly facing you and saying this to you. But this is insane. What the f? Jessica held my hand on the table. Luke looked at us. I didn't say anything to him. I faced the DM and told him I'm not comfortable with Luke's suggestion. Luke just shrugged, but he did look annoyed, crossing his arms and frowning at the table. He was still adamant on looking like a part of the cult to raise the idea of killing my pet. Jessica blew up on him at this point. I just went silent. DM was flustered about the situation going on, especially since the other tables are glancing at us. So in the end, he asked Luke to leave early and they had a chat. I kind of had a feeling Luke liked Jessica, which Jessica confirmed, but she made it clear she only likes guys within her age range. And since I made the post, he DM'd her if we were really dating. He went on a homophobic rant like how he thought I was trans or some crap because I act more feminine. Wait, what? Okay, so the big picture here is we're getting is that Luke liked Jessica and he thought that apparently, I guess you a Twinkie build, so he assumed you were gay because you act feminine. Is this a problem if a guy acts even a little bit feminine? Is this a problem? Huh? What? I don't know, man. I come from the art circle, so maybe that just normalized for me and stuff. But like, if a guy is acting a little bit more into a femboy territory, I think it's like kind of normalized. I don't know how long ago this post was or how long ago this game was and stuff. Maybe the times are different, times have changed and everything. But just because somebody acts feminine doesn't make him gay. They're just acting feminine because maybe they're more comfortable to act a little bit more feminine, because God forbid somebody that is a guy decides they want to be a little bit more feminine or decides to let their soft side out or a little more femme side out. Luke is insane. Luke is literally insane. He just assumed you're gay and just expect you to be gay for the sake of because of what you because of your appearance. So he's immediately judging over like that already, which is crazy to do so to a stranger you don't really know. And then decided, yeah, you know what? These people got together. Let me sex crime your character because you are IRL gay anyway, right? Totally are. Wow. Okay, that is insane. I think this probably was a Luke's attempt to try to see if they can emasculate you in some way, because they just probably will piss at you because you got together with a girl that they liked. Because the way they said things like you should lean into it, it would be good for our deception check, plus you're gay anyway. They try to paint you into in a sense, a gay corner because either jealousy or something else. They're trying to paint you basically in some sort of a corner for some reason, whatever. I'm pretty sure it probably came from jealousy. They probably got really annoyed and jealous at you with Jessica, or maybe they decided just to emasculate your character in some way, just to be some sort of like a dominating thing or some sort of like an alpha male thing. I don't know, some sort of weird chut thing. I don't know. It's a really weird thing to jump into. You're gay anyway, so let me assault your character. Let me just sex crime your character because you're gay anyway. It'll be a good look for us. We'll totally look like we're part of the cult if you let me sex crime you. Please let me sex crime you, bro. You're gay anyway. That is the weirdest thing to do. If somebody tells you that, definitely stay away from them. Definitely 100% stay away from them. Just because somebody is gay doesn't mean you have the right to just sex crime their character or them in person. That's the weirdest reaction to somebody dating I've ever seen. I've seen people crashing out, melting down. Oh, how could you be with him? Oh, don't you know I have feelings for you? Blah, 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 blah. But like I've seen some actual like meltdowns like in person, or over, not in person, but like over Discord calls. But this one literally takes the cake. I've never seen this sort of reaction prior to this. I am gobsmacked. Okay, Editor Morrow coming back in because I gotta put in some extra comments towards it. This story is batshit insane. Because like, even if you just think about it, right? Let's assume that Luke's assumption was correct, that you were gay. for Luke to just assume that, oh, you gay anyway, so let me sex crime your character is absolutely batshit insane. Like, what the fuck is the guy even talking about? What is he thinking? It sounds very strange to say that. Even if, let's say, for example, the assumption was correct and you were indeed gay, so what? That doesn't give right to Luke to sex crime your character. What does he think? Oh, if somebody is gay, it's okay to sex crime them because my character is a man, your character's a man. Let me sex crime you, bro. You're gay anyway. You probably like it. What? That is such a crazy thing to say. Okay, turn it around and flip it in any other way. It still doesn't sound great. Okay, let's pretend let's say, for example, it's a straight man and a straight woman. And Luke were to say this to a straight woman. Hey, you like dick anyway, so let me rape you. That is absolutely batshit insane. Luke is an unhinged player, and I think, honestly, it's probably very, very best to just not have somebody like Luke at your table ever. Holy hell, the dude is insane. Dude has no respect for anybody around him whatsoever. And personally, I kind of feel like he's kind of a danger on the table. If he's go-to be like, oh yeah, I could sex crime other people because the player might be potentially gay. Like, well, that is crazy. That is insane. I don't know, man. Luke is just like a big basket case of nope, don't want to have this kind of player in my games, nor do I want to interact with somebody like that. I just no thank you. I don't think I want somebody like Luke in my games. Good riddance, Luke. Rest in peace, never to be seen again.
And with that, that's gonna be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.